First up, let's get you the latest on the world's largest democratic elections in India. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi filed his nomination papers for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections from Uttar Pradesh's Raebareli seat on Friday. The constituency will go to polls in the fifth phase of general elections on May 20th. His mother, Sonia Gandhi, recently vacated the Lok Sabha seat when she became a member of Rajya Sabha. Sonia Gandhi, a four-time MP from Raebareli, won't contest the Lok Sabha elections this time. Dinesh Pratap Singh of BJP is pitted against Rahul Gandhi. Meanwhile, Gandhi family loyalist Kishori Lal Sharma filed his nomination papers from Amethi, the seat that Rahul Gandhi had lost to the Union Minister Smriti Irani in 2019. Congress leader Raj Babbar also filed his nomination from Haryana's Gurgaon Lok Sabha seat. BJP has fielded Rao Inderjit Singh from the constituency. Haryana votes on May 25th on all 10 Lok Sabha seats. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi graced a public meeting in Bardhaman in West Bengal. And a short while ago, he reached Jharkhand to garner support for the BJP candidates. Prime Minister held a roadshow in Krishnanagar city and addressed a rally in Bolpur. He also addressed a public meeting in Bardhaman Durgapur constituency spread across the Paschim Bardhaman and Purba Bardhaman district of West Bengal. Addressing the meeting, Prime Minister said Congress's biggest leader will dare not contest elections from Amethi for fear of losing and is seeking refuge in Raebareli.
मैंने कहा था इनकी सबसे बड़ी नेता चुनाव लड़ने की हिम्मत नहीं करेगी, वो डर के मारे भाग जाएगी और वो भाग करके राजस्थान गई और राजस्थान से राज्यसभा में आई और हुआ भी यही। मैंने पहले ही बता दिया था कि शाहजादे वायनाड में हारने वाले हैं और हार के डर से जैसे ही वायनाड में मतदान समाप्त होगा वो दूसरी सीट खोजने लग जाएंगे और अब दूसरी सीट पर भी उनके सारे चेले चपाटे कह रहे थे अमेठी आएंगे अमेठी आएंगे, लेकिन अमेठी से भी इतना डर गए, इतने डर गए, वहां से भागकर अब रायबरेली में खोज रहे हैं रास्ता। ये लोग घूम घूम कर सबको कहते हैं डरो मत, मैं भी आज उन्हें कहता हूं और बड़े जी भर के कहता हूं, अरे डरो मत, भागो मत।
Senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah is doing marathon campaigning in Maharashtra and Karnataka. He held election rallies in Sangli and Ratnagiri in Maharashtra. Earlier, he met party workers in Kolhapur and discussed election strategies. Later, addressing a rally in Chikori Lok Sabha constituency in Karnataka, Shah slammed Rahul Gandhi for filing nomination from Raebareli and said BJP's Dinesh Pratap Singh will win with a huge margin. As Gandak districts of Karnataka prepare for the polls on 7th May, fear and panic has gripped few villages in the interior after a leopard was sighted in the vicinity. Despite attempts by the Forest Department, the animal has evaded any attempt to capture him and remains elusive. Now, as the news of sighting and attacks on livestock spreads, villagers have stopped venturing out of their homes, casting serious doubt on whether they will gather courage to come out and vote on 7th May.
Majestic as they look, these hillocks overlooking rural expanse in Gadag district of southern Indian state of Karnataka have also become the natural habitat of two leopards in recent months. The leopard sightings by the locals have created panic, and fear has gripped residents of at least four villages in the area. The latest sighting was on Tuesday, 30th of April. The dusty lanes of Kuntoji village now wear a deserted look while the day is still young. People here say that they have stopped venturing out of homes as the feline has attacked, and they have also increased the vigil.
The leopard sighting has created considerable terror, and we are afraid to venture out of the homes. Going to polls will also be difficult in such situation.
It was cited. Some days back, the forest department is not making full efforts to catch the leopard. More efforts is needed.
However, the forest department disagrees. The officials say that the leopard is a nocturnal animal, so any fear of it attacking the livestock or the human beings in the day are minimal. Besides, they claim that they have put in 5 capture cages across the area to catch the animal. We managed to reach one such trap deep inside the forest area. This, however, was not functioning properly. The forest department has also promised to increase vigil and deploy more staff on the polling day so that the villagers can go and exercise their franchise.
In the night, the leopard remains active. We have patrolling team and staff. A cage has been kept to catch the leopard. The team is always present.
The sighting in Kuntoji and 3 villages in the vicinity of hillocks is a constant headache for the forest department. In the past 4 months, there have been instances of the animal attacking farmers in the field and also the domestic animals. Senior citizens and children don't venture out unless absolutely necessary.
The forest department of the area has placed 5 such cages throughout the affected area to capture the leopard. They have also deployed drones and fired in the air to scare away the animal. But so far, the leopard has been elusive, outsmarting everyone and keeping himself away from such traps. He has avoided the lure of meat and water kept inside these cages. But with the date of May 7th approaching fast, time is running out for everyone. If the leopard is captured, the villagers of the affected areas will feel secure enough to come out and exercise their franchise. With camera person Murmukut Sharma, Ravi Dhiman, DD India in Gadag district of Karnataka.
Moving on, Britain's governing Conservative Party appears to be in for a setback in the local elections. Ollie Barrett is in London, gives us more on this and other stories making headlines around the world. Ollie, these local elections are seen as the big contest ahead of the general elections later this year.
That's right, Shubhendu, and Britain's governing Conservatives are suffering heavy losses as those local election results continue to pour in. It all piles pressure on Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, as you say, ahead of a UK general election. The Labour Party has won a parliamentary by-election in Blackpool South, which was a long-time Labour seat in the northwest of England that went Conservative in the last general election back in 2019. The 26% swing towards Labour from the 2019 result marks the third largest swing in post-conflict by-election history. UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron is promising over £3 billion in annual military aid for Ukraine for as long as it takes. This as he met President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kiev. Cameron's trip came after Britain announced its largest ever military aid package for Ukraine. David Cameron says Kiev has a right to use the weapons provided by London to strike targets inside Russia.
We are your strongest supporters, and as I said to your Foreign Minister, we come not just as friends, we come as partners. How can we work together over this year, militarily, diplomatically, politically, financially, to support you in all the ways that we can? I think the package we announced was important, not just because it was the biggest package of gifted weapons that we've done so far.
And Volodymyr Zelensky thanked the UK for its support.
Thanks for this package also, that it's been together with the Congress decision, and I think everything has influence. So thank you very much.
Russia, for its part, is slamming comments made on the Ukraine conflict by the French President Emmanuel Macron and the UK Foreign Minister David Cameron. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that David Cameron's words were dangerous and a direct escalation of the conflict. That's after those comments from the Foreign Secretary saying that Ukraine could use British weapons against targets inside Russia. The Kremlin also described recent comments made by French President Emmanuel Macron about a possible French intervention in Ukraine as being part of a very dangerous trend. Well, DD India's Dasha Chernyshova joins us live now from Moscow. And Dasha, some strong words from the Kremlin. What are the implications here?
Well, indeed, the Kremlin says it is recording the verbal escalation around the situation in Ukraine, with those statements coming from the European politicians at different levels, at the level of the French president as well as at the level of the British Foreign Secretary David Cameron. Now, the understanding in Moscow is that Russia was right starting its so-called special military operation in Ukraine, and it will continue until all goals are achieved. Now, Moscow insists that those statements made by the European politicians regarding the direct involvement of these European countries into the conflict in Ukraine could actually have serious implications for the entire security architecture in Europe. Moscow will obviously be watching for more statements and steps made by those countries. But what Moscow is saying at the moment is that indeed it is a very dangerous escalation. Now, we haven't had any direct threats coming from the Kremlin, except for the very fact that Moscow will continue the operation. But we also have heard from the Russian Ministry of Defense saying that Moscow is on the upper footing when it comes to the situation in Ukraine at the moment, saying that since the beginning of the year, Moscow has already taken several hundred square kilometers of the territories in Ukraine, which Moscow says it is liberating from the Ukrainian regime, as Moscow describes it. So the situation is very tense. We understand at this moment that Moscow is exhibiting the NATO weapons that have been sent to Ukraine in downtown Moscow as a powerful symbol of Moscow's military might. And Moscow says it will only continue to do so. The only way, Moscow says, to achieve the goals of what it calls its operation in Ukraine is the military one at the moment. And that's why all the weapons that the Western countries are sending to Ukraine will only be burning, as Moscow says, on the battlefield. So certainly at this moment we understand that the two sides, the European one and that is supporting Ukraine, and the Russian one, are only escalating their rhetorics. And it is important for Russia, especially on the eve of Russia's Victory Day, which Moscow will be celebrating on the 9th of May. And certainly there is a reference between the victory in the Great Patriotic War, as it is seen here in Moscow, as well as the operation in Ukraine. So certainly all those statements will be taken into account when Russians celebrate the 9th of May.
Dasha, thank you. A Hamas delegation is set to visit Egypt soon for further ceasefire talks over the conflict with Israel. The Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh has discussed ongoing ceasefire talks in separate phone calls with Egypt's intelligence chief and Qatar's prime minister. Top Israeli ministers met on Thursday and reportedly discussed truce proposals and a possible Rafah operation. Turkey says it's halting trade with Israel until a permanent ceasefire is secured in Gaza or more humanitarian and aid supplies are allowed in by Israel. The trade between the two countries is worth nearly $7 billion a year.
The trade halt against Israel, including import and export, will continue until a permanent ceasefire in Gaza as well as unhindered humanitarian aid flow to the region are secured.
Yardımlar kesintisiz bir şekilde
The announcement came after Israel's Foreign Minister Israel Katz said that Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was breaking agreements by blocking ports from handling Israeli imports and exports. In a social media post, Israel Katz said that he instructed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to work to create alternatives for trade with Turkey, focusing on local production and imports from other countries. Chaos and arrests have continued across the United States at universities where student-led pro-Palestine protests have been taking place. Police and protesters faced off at the University of California at Los Angeles after riot police dismantled the protest camp, which was attacked by counter-demonstrators. Over 200 protesters have been arrested so far at UCLA. At Portland State University, police officers in riot gear arrested dozens of demonstrators who tried to retake a library which had served as a protest encampment. Well, US President Joe Biden says the demonstrators don't have a right to cause chaos.
We are not an authoritarian nation where we silence people or squash dissent. The American people are heard. In fact, peaceful protest is in the best tradition of how Americans respond to consequential issues. Peaceful protest in America. Violent protest is not protected. Peaceful protest is. It's against the law when violence occurs. In America, we respect the right and protect the right for them to express that. But it doesn't mean anything goes. It needs to be done without violence, without destruction, without hate, and within the law.
Now, in a pilot project, green telecoms cabinets are now getting greener and will be used as electric car charging points. It's an aim to encourage more people to buy and use electric vehicles without worrying about charging, and also to reduce carbon emissions. The trial will include an app offering a variety of options for users to choose from, including real-time pricing, availability and charge speed, among other things. The first charge is being installed in East Lothian in Scotland for use by local residents at no cost until the 31st of May as part of the pilot. And speaking of pilots, back to Shibendu to fly you home.
Thanks very much, Ollie. Great initiative there on green energy, and still to come on DT India Global. Indian envoy to UN, Ruchira Kambodge, says Pakistan harbours most dubious track record on all aspects. 10th anniversary edition of World Art Dubai.
Ten states and 1 union territory with 93 constituencies go to vote in Phase 3 of the Lok Sabha elections on May 7. Gujarat, Karnataka and Goa will be under the spotlight as all Lok Sabha seats go to polls. We track the states from the north, west and south in Phase 3 on the Great Indian Election at 8:30 p.m. IST only on DD India.
As India decides in the world's largest election,
we help you feel the pulse of the nation.
I am Sakal Bhatt.
I am Shubhendu Ghosh.
This election season, join us on a journey of India.
We are in Assam. This is the tea city of India.
From down south, Tamil Nadu.
Discover the colors of democracy.
Gateway to northeast of India.
Coastal state of Kerala. Watch Poll Pulse on DT India. Welcome back. You're watching DT India Global. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. The Delhi Metro is celebrating 30th Foundation Day today. Since the last 3 decades, it has become the lifeline of the national capital. Inaugurated in the year 2002, Delhi Metro has served millions of passengers over the years and has grown manifold as well. Take a look at the special report by DT India on its Foundation Day.
The lifeline of Delhi. The Delhi Metro has transformed how people commute in the national capital. Successfully running for the last 3 decades, the Delhi Metro over the years has spread over the city through its wide network, connecting almost every corner of not just Delhi, but also its satellite towns. The Delhi Metro started operations on 24th December 2002 between Shahadra and Tees Hazari in the northern part of the city for just about 8.4 kilometers. The operation, which began on the metro's red line some 22 years back, has spread its web of network across the city to over 390 kilometers now in the last 2 decades. Over the last many years, overcoming multiple challenges, today the Delhi Metro has 286 active stations in the New Delhi network alone. The metro has 12 active lines spread across even the satellite towns of Noida, Faridabad and Gurgaon, setting an example of green and energy-efficient connectivity not just in India but across the world. The Delhi Metro over the years also upgraded its technologies, making it one of the most advanced rapid transport systems in the country. Some 5 years back, the Delhi Metro also inaugurated its first ever driverless train, marking a massive technological achievement in the sector. From the Prime Minister of India to the President of India, all have travelled in the Delhi Metro, making it one of India's pride in the mass transit system. The Delhi Metro is called the lifeline of the capital's mass transit system because it serves lakhs of commuters every day, also helping in decluttering the Delhi roads and saving hours of time for people. Not just this, also saving lakhs of carbon dioxide being emitted into the atmosphere. It is one of the most secured public transport system in the country, manned by the CISF round the clock. It is also known for being the cleanest mass transport system in the country. The Delhi Metro is operated by the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation Limited or the DMRC. The foundation stone for the organization was laid down on 3rd May 1995 with the vision of setting up a safe, faster and green transport system for the national capital of India. The Delhi Metro has transformed how people travel in Delhi. The success of the Delhi Metro is making the model being replicated across the country now. Dibyendu Mondal's report for DD India.
The 7th Joint Defence Cooperation Committee meeting between India and Indonesia is being held in New Delhi. Both sides will exchange views on regional and global issues of shared interest. Indonesian Secretary General, who is on a visit to India till May 4th, will also have discussions with Indian defence industries in New Delhi and Pune. The Defence Cooperation Agreement between the two countries was signed in 2001. It has now been diversified to include military-to-military exchanges, high-level visits, capacity building and training programs. India has slammed Pakistan as Islamabad's envoy tried to provoke Delhi. Speaking at United Nations General Assembly session on culture of peace, Indian envoy to the UN, Ruchira Kambodge, said that Pakistan harbours, and I quote, most dubious track record on all aspects. Kambodge's statement comes after Pakistan UN envoy Munir Akram's remarks against India.
Used to set aside the remarks from a certain delegation which not only lack decorum but also detract from our collective efforts due to their destructive and pernicious nature. We would strongly encourage that delegation to align with the essential principles of respect and diplomacy that must always guide our discussions. Or is that too much to ask of a country that harbours a most dubious track record on all aspects in itself?
Let's now turn to other stories making news around the world. A bus travelling from Rawalpindi district in Pakistan's Punjab to Gilgit-Baltistan fell off a cliff on early Friday. Rescue operation was started by the local authorities to evacuate and assist the injured passengers. So far, 20 passengers have been reported dead, with another 21 injured and taken to the hospital. With an aim to retrieve samples from South Pole Aitken Basin on the far side of the moon, China has launched an uncrewed spacecraft on Friday from Wanchang Space Launch Center. The ambitious mission marks another milestone in China's lunar and space exploration programs. The 10th anniversary edition of World Art Dubai kick-started at Dubai World Trade Center on Thursday. The 4-day fair features over 4,000 artworks representing 60-plus countries. Contemporary Indian art is on display at the India Pavilion alongside 12 other country pavilions. That's all for this edition of DD India Global. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. For those on the go, catch all the latest news and updates on our DD India mobile app. You can scan the QR code. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Global. Namaskar.